Investment Strategies, Diversifying into AI and Web3.
A big round of applause, everyone, for Cal Evans. Yes, I want to keep the energy up. I know it's the afternoon, but we want to keep it going.
It's lagging. Come on, guys, we can do better than that. Let's make some noise. Let's get some energy in here.
Woo!
There, thank
That's what
you
we love,
very
Cal.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll leave it with Cal.
Thank you,
Cal.
appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for being here. It is great to be on stage here in South Africa. Thank you to the Sigma team and the AIBC team. It is great to be here talking in front of all of you. There's a couple of housekeeping things I have to go through before I start talking at you for the next 15 minutes. The first thing is, for those of you who know me, keep quiet. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cal Evans. I'm an international lawyer. I'm the managing associate of Gresham International. I run a couple of startups in the Web3 and blockchain space. I've written a book, consulted with some governments, and lots of various other things as well. Second piece of housekeeping is I'm a lawyer, but I am not your lawyer. So anything I say up here is not legal advice. You can't run to somebody and say, well, that lawyer said it, so it's good. It doesn't work like that. Final thing for me is I don't do presentations. You've got me for 15 minutes. I don't like to click boxes and show you things. I want to talk to you guys. I want to see what you think. I want to see how you're feeling. So with that being said, let's start talking about investing in Africa and diversifying into AI and Web3. Well, as the previous presentation said, lots of interesting facts, figures, and statistics. I like to be a little bit more out of the box and off the page with respect to investments. Because investments really come in two different flavors, or there's really a two-step litmus test that has to be passed for any investment. And the first is the USP, right? The unique selling point. What does it do? What problem is it solving? And that's the first thing that a lot of founders become very fixated with. And I have to be very brutally honest with a lot of founders when we're helping them through their procedure, and we say, look, you may have a dream. You may see this massive gap in the market. You may believe that your problem is going to solve a problem that most people never knew they had. But the reality is, when you're looking at that on the flip side as an investor, you don't share that dream. That dream doesn't belong to you. So whenever we see pitches and whenever we talk about investing, the problem is people don't share that dream. So we look at the second piece of the litmus test, and that is, what are you actually doing that is helping somebody diversify? And that's why we use this word diversify, right? And let me expand on this a little bit. It is easy for anybody to invest in anything these days. It is seriously easy. You can leave where you're sitting right now, and by the time you've hit the back wall, if you have investor written on your tag, I guarantee you 4 or 5 people would have stopped you to talk about investing in their project. Cutting a check is easy. What is difficult is showing to an investor that you offer a diversification proposition. And that means something different. That means that you've given them the ability to put something new in their portfolio. Remember, this isn't about your dream. This isn't about, hey, believe in us, we're doing lots of cool things. This is a brick and mortar different decision based on their matrix. Because when you are an investor, whether that is as a private investor, whether that's you represent a fund or maybe some kind of financial institution, you have a matrix. You literally have a decision-making protocol as to what it is you would look to invest in. And that depends whether you're looking to be safe or not safe. You guys will be familiar with the risk-reward matrix, right? Something's risky, it gives you a bigger reward. It's not, and that's the same. So when we talk about that diversification, what we really mean is what is going to give them the best return and what do they like the most about it. And AI and Web3 right now are the biggest market segment hitters. And what does that mean? Well, it means there's the most amount of unique technology coming out of those spaces. It means there's the most amount of innovation physically being created right now there. Again, prior gentleman that was speaking on stage mentioned Meta. We see a lot of the legacy companies, big companies, whether that's the big tech top 4 or otherwise, moving into these avenues, but really they're just there to create. You're not looking at it from that point of view. You're looking at it from an investment diversifying strategy. So AI and Web3 offer unique opportunities, but what you have to do, and when you look at that as a value proposition, as either an investor or a creator, is, look, I am creating something. Let's say, for example, I'm creating a wallet that uses AI and Web3 technology. Great. I'm going to talk about my value add. I'm not going to overshare my dream. I'm going to talk about numbers. But why is it appealing to investors? Well, it's appealing because it's new, because it's unique, because it has something that nobody else has got. I was talking to a gentleman in the lounge earlier about patents that he had filed. And if we think about how do we value a company, right? There's a company valuation matrix. Different countries do it in different ways. But one of the best ways to value a company is to patent something. Or excuse me, best way to value a company is to look at the patents. Tech guys and girls get caught on user adoption. Look at us. Look how many users we've got. Look at us. Look how big we are. Well, I hate to tell you this, but the minute one of the bigger players switches into the industry, your user adoption is gone. It doesn't matter, because those guys will bring more users. They have a bigger marketing budget. They are able to capture a bigger audience very early on and switch into your market segment. It's not about that. It's about what have you created that is unique and can be patented. And so when we look at the patent process, one of the things as a lawyer I say to people is, if you can patent something, do it. To file I call them temporary patents, but they're basically a basic patent in the United States, which is a provisional patent, costs you about $700. It's easy to do. There's a lot of companies online that do it, and it's a very quick procedure. It gives you a year priority, and you can say to people, we have a non-provisional patent that's been filed. Then you can go to countries like the United Kingdom and file a full patent. Or you could go to South Africa and file a non-examined patent. All of these are really good strategies, and none of them cost a lot of money. And one of the things I always have to be honest with clients about is, lawyers like to talk about things that are expensive, right? Oh my God, you want to file a patent? That's expensive. If you Google right now, how much does it cost to file a patent? The top answer that comes up is anything between $30,000 to $100,000. It does not cost that much. It really doesn't. And in 2024, the reality of it is, this is something a lot of you can do yourselves. And I say this to clients all the time. If you are bootstrapping as a startup and you are trying to increase your value add very quickly, creating a patent and filing a patent is something that you can do incredibly easy. And then what does that do for you? So that's the back end, right? That's over here as a creator. What does that do for those looking to invest? It creates diversification. Why? Because no two patents are the same. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to protect uniqueness. They're designed to protect something that nobody's created before. And that is the essence of a diversification. We have lots of different things. When we look at diversifying into AI and Web3, most people think, oh yeah, we've invested in a handful of AI companies, and we've invested in a handful of Web3 companies. And there's two things I always ask, and I always say. Is it really diversification, or did you just do it because it's a hot topic? Real diversification is unique technologies and something that no one else is building, patented. The second thing is, oh my goodness, we're actually investing in companies that are building cool stuff. And so AI and Web3 comes under the guise of something very, very interesting. And another thing I'm always very brutally honest about is it really Web3? Is it really AI? It's a game we actually play in the office, although I probably shouldn't admit this, and I'm going to get told off. When a potential new client calls us and they say, we're creating this awesome platform, and it's AI. Oh, we created this amazing piece of software, and it's Web3. We create this little game, and it's called, is it really AI? Is it really Web3? Or are you just taking something that already exists and repackaging it? and trying to sell it to somebody as AI or Web3. One of the funniest things we see, and I say the word funny very platonically, is people that approach us with things that have AI in it that, first of all, aren't AI, or secondly, don't need AI. If we think back to blockchain, and when blockchain became the buzzword, we can keep that trend going back. For those of you who are tech people, who remembers big data? Show me a show of hands. Who remembers big data? Who remembers cloud technology? There we go, right? We're getting there. As we get closer, everybody wanted big data. Everybody wanted cloud technology. And you did the same thing then. Are you really building something, or are you just using a buzzword? And the true is same in AI and Web3. And whenever we look at a lot of AI companies, and I'm not digging AI companies out here, I'm using it as an example, a lot of it is just basically a really low latency database. Hey, enter name. What does this mean? What does this do? Well, it's basically just a syntax search. For those of you who are geeky, you've basically sped up Google and made it more accessible. Hey, find this for me. That's not AI. That's not machine learning. That's not a systematic device that's creating something of its own accord. It's not taking something, taking data and running and evolving that data. That is AI in a very rudimentary sense. The same is true of Web3, right? Is it really Web3? And this is a great conversation I had with a potential client 2 weeks ago. They said, we take solutions for the Web2 gaming space and we enable them to get into Web3. That sounds really cool, but what does that mean? Well, you know, we give people the tools to get into Web3. Again, that sounds good, but what does it mean? And why, as a game developer with a suite of very functioning Web2 games, would I want to target Web3? Why would that be a thing for me? And that then becomes the question, right? Is it really Web3, or are you taking what, sticking with the gaming example, play-to-earn gaming? Oh, it's a buzz thing. Let's talk about play-to-earn gaming. Let's talk about Web3 technologies in games. And I've worked with clients in the Philippines that did this very well. But then as a gamer, I've said to people, look, I played World of Warcraft. I remember collecting gold and mana and doing all the things in that and trading in a marketplace. So none of that was Web3. In fact, blockchain didn't really kind of come into its own anywhere then, and I could still do all that stuff. Why would I want to do that on a Web3 marketplace? And then I juxtapose that against people that are building cool Web3 stuff. Hey, in-game NFTs that are actually NFTs that can be transferred between different platforms, which basically means I can take my costume I wear in this game and then I can wear it in another game using blockchain technology. That's pretty cool Web3. So as we've spoken about this, we've learned that diversification comes in a number of steps, right? Are you really actually adding that value add? Patents. It's creating a diversification for the investor. Are you actually diversifying into AI and Web3? Is it really the technology? Or are you just wrapping something up, hoping to get investors? Quick segue. One of the things I love is if you are an investor, and you would have seen this, and if you're trying to get investment, never change your pitch deck to just include buzzwords. Happens all the time. Oh, can I see your earlier pitch deck? The word AI didn't exist. Now it exists because you think people will cut you checks. Please don't ever do that. And then we come down to the final thing, which is making sure that you have that actual value add, right? Patents, uniqueness, technology. Value add, okay, great. We understand you've got a user base and an acquisition, but are you actually deploying those technologies in your technology set? If you wrap all of this up together and you put it together, you start to get, what we refer to as a 2.0 investment strategy. That 1.0 investment strategy is what I started with. Sell people your dream. Look at what I've built. Love it. Love it as much as I do. It doesn't work like that. That 2.0 investment strategy is offering people what they want. Diversification, actual access to technology, and something that solves a real, tangible people-for problem. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me for 15 minutes. You are rock stars. You've been rock stars. I think I stay up here and moderate the next panel, so I'm just going to stay up here anyway. But thank you.